She mocked me for being a teen mom, then got pregnant with triplets at 43. Every morning was a fresh reminder that I'd thrown my life away. That's what my mom liked to say, loud enough for me to hear it through the door. Morning to the girl who ruined her future for 5 minutes of fun, she'd sneer as I got ready for school. That was the daily vibe in our house. I had Hudson when I was 16. It was hard, exhausting, terrifying, but he was my whole world. My mom, though, she treated me like I'd brought shame upon the family name. Every time I sat at the kitchen table, whether I was feeding Hudson or doing homework, it was another jab. Teen moms don't make it to college. No man wants damaged goods. You'll be stuck here forever. Meanwhile, she told her church friends she was a saint for letting me live under her roof. What she didn't tell them? I worked night shifts at a grocery store, went to school during the day, paid for all of Hudson's stuff myself, and she charged me rent for my childhood bedroom. Still, I had a plan. I applied for every scholarship I could find, secretly. When I got a full ride to a state college with student housing, I nearly cried. I was finally going to give Hudson a better life. Mom didn't know. She was too busy living her best middle-aged single lady life. Wine nights, new perfume, staying out until 3 a.m. Then, out of nowhere, the universe flipped the script. She started puking randomly. I assumed hangovers. No, pregnant, with triplets, at 43. From a one-night stand with a guy she didn't even remember. The same church ladies who called me a sinner were suddenly very quiet. Her job put her on leave. She had to sell her Audi for a beat-up minivan. And for the first time, the woman who never lifted a finger to help me was completely alone. By the second trimester, she was bedridden. I did everything. Cooked, cleaned, helped her to the bathroom. One day, while I was spoon-feeding Hudson, she burst into tears. "At least you only ruined your life with one baby," she sobbed. Like, seriously? After the triplets were born early and rushed to the NICU, her world crumbled fast. Medical bills, WIC applications, food stamps, the exact things she once mocked me for needing. Suddenly, I became her lifeline. I told her, as gently as I could, that I was moving out after graduation. I had the apartment lined up, Hudson's daycare spot secured, everything. She went pale. "You can't leave me with 3 babies," she screamed. I reminded her that she never helped me once, not even once, with Hudson. The night before I was supposed to move, she lost it. She stood in my doorway, holding all 3 screaming babies, blocking the exit. "If you walk out, I'll die from exhaustion, and it'll be your fault." I froze. Hudson held onto my leg, scared. I felt sick. The triplets were wailing. I hated her, but those babies didn't ask for any of this. I told her I needed to think. I made Hudson a sandwich with shaking hands while she sobbed on the couch. That night was hell. She didn't know which baby needed what. At 3 a.m., she collapsed in the hallway crying. I sat in bed holding Hudson as he whimpered in his sleep. The next morning, I left for work and found her passed out on the couch with one baby on her chest, the other 2 screaming, soaked diapers, no bottles made. I cleaned them up, made formula with what was left, and left for work. My manager pulled me aside. "You've had too many emergencies. One more, and you're done." When I got home, it looked like a war zone. She begged me to skip school to help her. "They haven't eaten." "I haven't eaten." I said no. I had finals. She called me selfish. Meanwhile, Hudson was not okay. He was regressing. Accident, nightmares, clinginess. His teacher said he asked if the babies were going to take me away. I cried in the school parking lot. I took him to the park that weekend just to get him a breather. For the first time in days, he smiled. A neighbor asked if everything was okay because she could hear screaming from our house all the time. My stomach sank. Then came the morning I'll never forget. 5 missed calls from Mom during my chem review. One of the triplets had a fever. She couldn't figure out the car seats. I left class, 30% of my final grade, because no one else could help. Doctor said it was reflux and wrote down a $48 formula recommendation. Mom cried in the exam room. The nurse gave us a few free samples and handed us a WIC brochure. I wanted to scream. That night, I wrote a paper while bottle feeding one baby and bouncing another in a bouncer with my foot. I submitted the paper at 11:58 p.m., 2 minutes before the deadline, and collapsed into bed, barely human. I was 18, a mom to 1, caretaker to 3 more, a daughter to someone who only learned empathy when her life imploded. And I had a choice to make. Click the full story to see what happened next.